How should finances be split in a marriage? Hi, my name is Paula, and I want to welcome you back to my channel. On here, we talk to wives and encourage wives how to approach their marriages and to become better wives and improve their marriages using biblical principles. So, if you're new here, welcome. I hope that this channel will help you to change your marriage, change your life, bring you closer to your husband and to God. So let's dive into it. How should finances be split? And what does the Bible have to say? So I don't think the Bible tells us explicitly how to split finances. But if you know me and you know this channel, you know where we're going to go, right? Ephesians 5:22 tells both husbands and wives like what to do. There's an outline of how decisions are to be made, basically. So wives are told to submit to their husbands in everything. And so naturally, I'm going to tell you that everything includes finances. We're going to submit to him in how we split the finances. So what that means is that we're going to discuss it. We're going to have a thorough discussion. We're going to talk about what each person's income is, what our goals are, how we want to achieve them, how much should we be saving, how much should we be putting aside for the children's future, how much should we be investing, what's going aside for a vacation. We're talking about everything. We're discussing everything. And then ultimately, we're going to discuss how are we splitting it. If you're both working, that's where the difficulty often comes in, because now you have to decide what's the contribution gonna be. So your husband's gonna get the last say, but ideally, if your husband is a godly man who is honoring God and submitting to God, he's gonna honor you as well. He's gonna honor your voice, your opinion, your wishes. Okay, so I don't want you to worry about him not making the right decisions and everything. What we're going to do is we're going to take our godly posture as godly wives. We are going to be submissive. We're going to be respectful. We're going to approach every conversation in meekness, in quietness, in calmness, softness. Okay. We're going to bring our feminine energy forward every single time. So when we're discussing finances, we're just going to be respectful of his thoughts, his opinions, because ultimately he's going to have the last say. So that's the first thing. We're going to figure out what our husband feels about the situation. If it's vastly different from what our opinion is or what our desires are for the finances, then obviously you may want to get some kind of consultation with a professional, with an expert, get someone else involved and approach it from an objective point of view. Once you have that objective opinion in there, you guys can make an informed decision. But what I think is a good approach, because the Bible tells us that the two become one. So if you're one in every way, you're one person, it's one income, it's one bank account, it's one, just everything is one. There's a oneness, there's a unity in your marriage. So I think the best approach would be to have that oneness. Everything, my income, his income, goes into one pot. We're saving from that pot. We're paying the bills from that pot. We're just doing everything out of it. And we're both coming together and we're planning on how that goes. Just to avoid the confusion, we're going to have a plan. Okay. So we already know based on our plan how much is going to savings, how much is going towards our vacation fund, how much is going to investments or the college fund for the kids, healthcare, all of that. Everything is predetermined. We have a budget for shopping. We have a miscellaneous. But basically, you have a plan, you came up with it together, everybody knows the plan, there are no surprises. Everybody has their little petty cash fund. So you're not having to ask for permission for little, small, insignificant purchases. Okay? That's how I would do it ideally. The next option would be everyone is going to feel comfortable with the one pot. Maybe because the other spouse is not that responsible, they've made financial mistakes in the past, whatever the issue may be, the one pot may not be right for you, right? This is all about you and what you guys determine is the best approach for you. It's not wise for me to come on here and tell everyone to do this one thing. And then it creates, some kind of division and confusion because one person wants this, one person, whatever you can agree on and everyone's happy, you do that. But in everything that you do, wife, I want you to be respecting your husband's decision, respecting his approach. And husband, I want you to be thoughtful about your wife. Is this approach loving? Is it demonstrating the love of Christ? Is she feeling loved and cared for, provided for, and protected with the approach that I'm coming up with? If both of you are considering the other, you will never, no matter what decision it is that you're making, it will be the right decision because you're coming together as one to make that decision. Okay. So you can do 50-50. You can do the approach where it's based off of your income. So your total income is 100%. If hubby makes 60% and you make 40% as wifey, then he's paying 60% of the bills, you're paying 40%. So it's just relative to the amount you're making. That's more on a fairness type of deal. What is going on with the rest of the income? There still needs to be a conversation that's had with that kind of approach. Because yes, I'm putting 40% towards the bills. So I have 60% left of my income. What am I doing with that income? You know what I mean? How am I spending it? Does hubby have a say? I think the finances become especially hard where the wife is earning more than the husband. I think this is especially important for you two to come together and to discuss the finances and to have a plan. We need you, wifey, to understand that not because you're making more than hubby means that he's not worthy of your respect. It's just money. Money cannot come before your spouse. It's the same way if he were earning more than you were. Would you want him to treat you less than? Would you want him to be disrespectful because he's earning more? So I really want there to be that level of respect because it's really hard for a woman that's earning more than her spouse to have that level of respect and feel like she should submit to a man that's not earning as much, that's not as accomplished. When we're godly wives, when we're Christians, your worth, your value does not lie in the amount you make. It does not lie in your position in the world. God positions us. And if God tells you that your husband is the head, he's the head. There's no condition. He's the head no matter how much he makes, no matter his position in the world, no matter his position compared to yours. So we have to get to that point where we can respect our husbands and we can honor our husbands regardless of our positions, regardless of how much we're making, regardless of what's going on financially. But because finances can cause such a huge division in marriage, I really wanted to give like some sort of a guide, a starting point for you to really sit down and talk about it and discuss it and have a plan and approach it biblically. How can I approach it where I'm honoring my husband and he's honoring me? He's submitting to me by loving me, protecting me, providing for me through our finances. And I'm honoring and respecting and submitting to Him through our finances. So this is the conversation that I want us to have. I want you to sit down, discuss it respectfully as a wife, lovingly as husband. If you want my opinion, as I said before, do the one pot. It just eliminates any cause of division, any cause of contention and resentment for the most part. I feel like it's the safest bet because everyone is benefiting equally. Everyone has the same access. Everyone is contributing equally. There's no kind of, oh, you're doing this, you're not doing that. So I feel like it really is the best approach. So I hope this video helps you. A quick rundown of how you can approach your finances and how I think God wants you to approach it from a biblical perspective. So if you have any questions, reach out to me, leave a comment. Let me know, how do you approach your finances in marriage? Is it working? Is it not working? Do you have any advice for us? And let's just discuss it. Let's talk about it. Okay. So let me know what you'd like to hear from me next. I really love to just provide all the value I can and to help you as best as I can in your marriage, in your growth, in your journey towards loving each other in a godly way and just growing and building your marriage. I love you guys, and I'll see you in the next video.